If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
This month's TV 47 Star Student of the Month.
And here he is Mason Hines, who's an 8th grader at Charles R. Drew Middle School in Lincoln, Alabama. And Mason, good morning.
Morning.
Good to tell you. Good to have you with us this morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mason.
Well, see, as you said, I'm in 8th grade. I played football. Last year was my first year playing football. I've been a big fan of sports all my life. I'm a big fan of video games and music. And I have plans to do big things when I get older.
All right. Tell us about your family, Mason.
When you see, I have a mom, my dad. My dad's at work. That's why he can't be here today. My great-grandmother's over there. My brother's with me today. I have a grandmother, grandfather on my mom's side.
Okay. I know you're very, very well supported by your family. What about Charles R. Drew Middle School in your 8th grade? How's that going?
It's going good, man. I mean, my grades are great. I feel like I'm one of the best in the school, grades-wise. I just feel like when it comes to academics in school, I'm one of the best.
All right. That's fantastic. And who is some of your teachers there at the school?
Some of the teachers are Mr. Howe, he's my tech teacher. I have Miss Bonham, who is my math teacher. Mrs. Williams, who is my English teacher. I have Mr. Jones, who is my world history teacher. I have Coach Higgins and Coach Bursworth, which is my PE teachers. And I have Mr. Bailey, who's my science teacher.
Who's some of your friends at school?
Zach Lynn and Lana Waller are people that have been on the show before. Those are my friends.
Yeah.
I have Braden Tant, Quay Elston, Kamari Hampton, just a lot more people to mention. I have a lot of friends, so it's just kind of hard to name them all off the top of my head.
I understand. Does your education, your skills for learning, does that come easy for you?
It does, I mean, a lot of time for middle school, it's just, sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the teachers, but for me, it's just, I feel like I've been able to do good throughout all my school days. I feel like I can continue keeping that up throughout high school and college.
Fantastic. And speaking of high school, that's where you'll be next year. Are you excited about that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You play football. This is your first year that you played. When did you decide you wanted to play?
Well, actually, this is my second year.
Second year? Okay.
Yes, sir. Last year, at the end of 6th grade, I decided to give it a shot at football because I've always been a big fan of football. I just never played it because it wasn't ran by the school, so it's been hard to get into. But now that it's ran by the school for football, I've been able to get into it and learn from it.
What position you play?
Wide receiver and defensive back.
All right. You got good hands?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you think that you got a future in football in the high school level?
I want to give it a shot, but, I've said that to my mom and stuff that, if it doesn't happen, it's all good. Because, there's a lot of good athletes at Lincoln, and I feel like, being good at sports, and getting into the professional league is very difficult, There's only a few people in the world that can do it.
You're right about that.
I'll give it all I got.
The high school team is pretty good this year, too.
Yes, sir.
You followed that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you like to do outside of school?
Outside of school, I hang out with my friends sometimes. Of course, athletics are a big thing. But really, I do stay home a lot. I just like to play games and watch television and stuff. I know how these go on YouTube and stuff. I like to watch that a lot.
Tell me more about your family, your mom and dad and your grandparents.
My mom, she worked at JCPenney for a while, but a couple of years ago she's getting into nursing, and now she's a substitute teacher in the county. My dad works at Mauser Incorporated. He makes plastic bottles and stuff. He's been working there for a while. My great grandmother over there, she really hasn't worked in a while because she's older, but her husband, who has unfortunately passed away, he was in the Navy for a while, and now she just stays at home being herself.
All right. Did you say you had brothers and sisters?
Yes, sir. My brother's over there.
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 10, just turned 10 in August.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Mason Hines, who is an 8th grader at Charles R. Drew Middle School in Lincoln, Alabama. You ever given much thought about your future, Mason?
Yes, sir. My idea for when I get older is I want to attempt to go to Auburn University and get a degree in communications to try to get into sports analysis, like ESPN and Sports Center, that stuff, kind of like that.
Well, man, we'll help you. You can do your training here. You can start today. I'll just take this mic off. You slide over here. Mason Hines is our Star Student of the Month. He's an 8th grader at Charles R. Drew Middle School. What drives you, Mason?
It's just my family, of course, is a big thing, and just trying to be the best I can be every day. When I wake up in the morning, I want to try to be the best I could possibly be every day. And football, or my coach tells me we do weightlifting in the mornings. He always tells you that every day to get better. So I just try to get better every day.
Who's your go-to person when you have a bump in the road?
Mom.
Okay.
She's a big thing.
All right. Sounds good. Mason Hines, who is our Star Student of the Month. He's an 8th grader at Charles R. Drew Middle School. Particular subjects you like better than others?
I would say math. I think I'm pretty good at. I would say science. Those two are very good for me. I feel like those are my best topics.
Yeah. Are you involved in civic organizations at the school?
Well, we do have,
or anything?
Yes, we have clubs, and my club is, it's going to sound funny to you, but it's a man cave club. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I know.
What's that about?
It's basically like just learning about things like basically in that class, it's like football and just learning how to do like things like change a tire and stuff of that sort.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. Mason Hines, our Star Student of the Month. Let's have a little fun before we leave, okay? It's been a fun show anyway. Favorite food?
Steak.
Okay. How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
It's a tough one. I would say probably Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right. You like movies?
Kind of. Not really the biggest into them. But
Okay. Favorite video game?
the NBA 2K series in general. That's a basketball game. That's probably my favorite series.
Pick a starting 5 for your NBA.
Let's see. All right. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and Shaquille O'Neal.
You stacked the deck there, man. You certainly got winners with those guys. Mason Hines is our Star Student of the Month. Mason, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. How would your final year as far as middle school is concerned, how do you want to be thought of leaving middle school, going to high school?
I just want to be thought of as like a student that teachers could rely on to be that teacher, a person that they could ask anything and they could probably get a good answer out of it.
All right, he's looking right there in that camera. His name is Mason Hines. He's an 8th grader at Charles R. Drew Middle School in Lincoln, Alabama, and Mason Hines is our Star Student of the Month.
Weekdays at 6:30 a.m. for your Star Student of the Month.